Mr. Malik, you are so welcome to our program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
What we know, actually, unfortunately, climate change threatens cultural heritage in different parts of the world. And what's ISESCO doing to help preserve cultural heritage sites in climate-affected areas? And how does it balance environmental protection and also heritage preservation?
Well, ISESCO is the Islamic World Organization for Education, Science and Culture. And it gives environment and culture a very important part of its mandate. One of our goals is to protect our culture, our heritage. It's part of our identity, part of our tradition. In addition, environment and environmental climate action is a must these days. We have some of our member states that are very vulnerable to any climate crisis, to any climate or environmental changes. So we have created a department called the sector of science and environment, giving the environment its importance. But more importantly, we have also a sector for culture. We value the importance of culture in different ways. We strongly believe that identity is part of our culture. Our culture is part of our identity, and those who does not have culture, they don't really have identity. Now, in order to do this, how can we merge culture and environment? We have done a number of initiatives. We started in COP29. We participated in Sharm el-Sheikh COP27, and we came up with some initiatives. And part of the initiative that we signed with the Ministry of Culture and Higher Education in Cairo is protecting and providing our heritage sites with a sort of renewable energies, where we use solar system in order to protect our cultural sites, and it has been really a good success. What we are doing now in our culture is we are registering our heritage site that has not been registered in many of our member states. And those are quite important. But when we register, we train people to renovate, to protect, and also to value the importance of this culture. And we try to make sure that culture and environment are together. And this is why we create the program for our youth. We call it Youth Climate Leaders Program. We are empowering youth, but at the same time we are empowering women and giving them the right to do quite a lot when it comes to climate actions.
We highly appreciate that you shared these kind of examples, actually. And as we do know, many of ISESCO's member countries, member states, are highly vulnerable to climate impacts. And we have talked about the initiatives regarding to educational and scientific system. But what about the ISESCO's pursuing to the strengthening, climate resilience among vulnerable people, and especially women and children?
We believe that education is knowledge. Without, you cannot access knowledge and skills if you're going to provide a good education. And to really sort of merge education and environment, you really have to also gear your education towards protecting your environment. Unless we build in our children the importance of environmental protections and preservations, then you're going to face a problem. And this is why recently, about a month ago, we had a ministerial meeting for the Ministers of Education in Muscat in Oman. And part of our policy paper that we presented and reported is the importance of greening education. So it became like one of our mandate that inserting in our curriculum green education to be part of the education process, not just at the elementary school, but all levels, start from kindergarten all the way to the universities. And this is why in many of our programs now, we push a lot towards merging education and environment, making sure that every school is environmentally friendly, making sure that teachers are also teaching the importance of environment, avoiding and taking actions, whether it's children or others, in ways of how to promote the importance of climate actions and environment protections.
Mr. Malik, ISESCO and also COP29. What are the key messages it hopes from COP29? What are the expectations, let's say?
When we decide to participate in COP29, we have set certain goals. And we said that our participation this time is not going to be just participating, but we really have to come up with some important fact in the form of initiative, in the form of recommendations. And this is why we have big support from the government of Azerbaijan, where we have a large booth. In this booth, we are hosting a number of ministerial panels, academic exchange, community-focused initiatives. We're involving youth, we're involving women. We hope to involve also children. We have a side event that's quite important in fostering water security, biodiversity, and peace. And I think this is quite important. And that side event is going to be attended by a number of ministers and many others. And I think the recommendation that will come out of that side event we will make sure that it becomes part of the declaration of the COP29. The second is we are coming with some initiatives in the form of best practices and standards for small-scale renewable energy, and then another documents on best policy documents on disaster risk reduction and early warning system. These are some of the things that we are planning to. But the message, I think, that we want to make sure that whether it's our member state or all people who are participating here is that collaboration. Collaboration is very important. If you have an initiative that you succeeded in water resource management or preventing environmental crisis, then share it with others. Bring it up, share it. So the collaboration is part of the most important thing that we think, and we believe that it should be inspiring people and it's giving like ambition to people to work towards environmental protection. Programs and initiatives that we are planning to launch at COP, we want others to participate. But the message that is quite important, as I mentioned to you earlier, that some of our member states are very vulnerable and they may not have the funding to the COP29 fund that will be created or financing. It is not just only meant to be for one country or another. Any part of Earth that will be affected by environmental crisis will affect others. So we strongly believe in equitable funding for all countries. So the fund has to be reallocated according to where the crisis is happening. Whether it's happening in China, whether it's happening in Sierra Leone, whether it's happening in Tunisia, wherever it is. So I think financing is a big issue, and without creating such a fund and financing system to protect those vulnerable countries, I think it's going to be a problem. The developed countries and the international organization has to put a lot of emphasis in helping and supporting and educating those poor countries or underdeveloped countries to protect their environment.
Mr. Malik, thank you so much for your time. Shukran jazeelan.
Shukran.